Everyone likes a cheater, especially cheaters who use cheats in competitive games. It takes a special someone to skip the grind and jump straight to the easy way out. Game developers especially dislike cheaters, breaking their game and skipping sections of their game that they specifically designed to be played as intended. Although anti-cheat exists for most games and works most of the time, some game developers take it upon themselves to find interesting and unique ways of punishing cheaters. Although there are a lot of game developers who have done this, we've gone through and handpicked some of the games that stood out to us. So here are some games that punish cheaters for cheating.
Remorse, not an option.
H1Z1 was huge back in 2016 and 2017. I personally never played it at its peak, but I know the community was at one point very large and devoted to the game. Of course, with a game that popular, there are bound to be cheaters popping up every here and there. The cheating got pretty bad at one point, and the developers took the matter very seriously. If you were caught cheating, they not only banned your account, but the only way you can get back into the game was to create a public video on YouTube admitting you cheated and apologizing for cheating, and then sending that video to the developers as proof. Cheaters weren't too happy about that, but I think this was a genius and definitely one of the best ways of exposing people who cheated.
Zoo Tycoon is a classic game that a lot of people grew up playing. The unique thing about their cheater punishment is that they actually allowed the cheats to begin with. This is one that I used to use all the time, mainly because I was terrible at the game, and I really didn't care about the consequences. In case you don't know what Zoo Tycoon is, it's a game about creating your own zoo and making sure all the animals are happy. The goal is to earn as much money as possible while expanding your zoo. The cheat in this game was if you held the shift key and the $ key at the same time, your money would instantly start skyrocketing. You could even do this for an unlimited amount of time, and I don't think it was ever restricted in any way. The problem was that when you started doing this, random fences all over your zoo would start breaking, releasing all the animals. If you had the dinosaur expansion installed, you immediately had T-Rexes and all sorts of creatures running around your zoo, trampling guests. If you were smart about it, you could easily do this at the start of your game, and then never have to worry about money again.
Tomb Raider 2 came out in 1997, and with it came a lot of new features. Even decades ago, people still wanted a way to cheat in games. Older games though had different ways of cheating, since it was more of an Easter egg than a cheat. If you have played an older game before, you will know that if you input a certain number of buttons, it will allow you to use all types of cheats that developers put into the game. You can get invincibility, or even infinite ammo, depending on the game you were playing. But in Tomb Raider 2, the developers did something pretty funny. In the first Tomb Raider game, there was a cheat that gave you all the weapons in the game and refilled all the ammo in your guns. All you had to do was walk one step forward, one step back, turn in a circle 3 times, and then do a backflip, and then it would activate the cheat. If you tried doing this in Tomb Raider 2, then it would literally make Lara explode into a bunch of pieces and restart your game. It was more of an Easter egg instead of a punishment, since players of the first game wanted to try it in the sequel. It got to the point that most people would purposely try the cheat out just to watch Lara explode. It is a pretty harmless cheat though, since most people knew what was going to happen when they activated it.
The Stanley Parable has probably one of the funniest ways of punishing people who cheat in their game. If you're being detected as cheating, the game will throw you into a room called the Serious Room, and in this room, there's only you and a table. The narrator will then go through a full-blown speech on how and why cheating is wrong. It goes on for a good few minutes, and you can't do anything about it. The only way to continue to play the game is to restart the game. You can also get into this room if you type SV_cheats and then the number 1 into the console, if you were curious. Anyway, I thought this was really funny and another example of a great way to punish people who cheat.
Rockstar Games is a company that's very familiar with cheaters, and they usually come up with some creative way of dealing with them. In this case, they noticed that there was an overabundance of cheaters in regular multiplayer matches. They quickly started working on a solution, and what they came up with is a patch that forced all cheaters to be put into the same lobbies as other cheaters. At the time, this was highly effective, and the cheaters didn't stick around long once they realized they were just fighting other people with cheats. It's too bad Rockstar can't figure out how to do this on GTA Online for PC, because honestly, the amount of cheaters in that game is just ridiculous.
I died, kiddo, I died.
GTA Online is one of the biggest games out right now, and most people who haven't even played it know about it. The sales for the game are almost as big as Minecraft, which is insane. There are constantly new updates for the game even though it came out back in 2013 on the PS3, and it is still going strong today. If you have played the game in the last couple years, you will know that the game is riddled with hackers. You're loaded into a lobby and the first thing you hear are a ton of explosions. When you hear this, you usually go and try to find another lobby or even start a private lobby with your friends. There are so many hackers that it is hard for Rockstar to detect and ban them all because cheats are so easily acquired. There are a bunch of ways that Rockstar will punish these cheaters if they are caught. If enough people report these hackers, they will get banned from the game for a certain period. It starts with a day ban, and if they're caught again, it will go up to a week ban. If they keep cheating, then they will get up to a month or even a year ban. They are also put into special cheater-only servers for a period of time where they send all the people who hack so that the normal players won't get griefed by them.
Your squad mate's back on station. Good work. Gas is inbound.
I am a huge fan of Warzone. The first Warzone game had a massive issue with cheating, and it didn't get a proper anti-cheat until the latter half of its life cycle. And even then, there were still cheaters. It's much better now, and I guess you would call it the third iteration of the BR. Anyway, the developers found fun and interesting ways of punishing people who cheat in the game. In some cases, they would get kicked and then banned, but in other cases, if they're recognized as having inhuman aim, their bullets would start to do absolutely no damage at all. Some streamers even got caught having this issue, which was super funny to see them get exposed in real time. Another way is that they put hallucinations on the cheater screens, which basically mirrors what other players are seeing, just completely messing up their game. Or another one they did was making the other players invisible to cheaters. I love this approach, and honestly, more developers should do this to make cheaters' lives miserable while playing their game.
Remedy Entertainment wants most of their audience to have fun, including the cheaters. This is still the case in their game Control. They implemented safeguards for people that tried to cheat in their save file, but they didn't outright prohibit them from playing the game. What they did was design a new area of the game specifically for cheaters. Players slowly walk through a series of doors, and at the end of the hallway, there's a room with a giant sign that just says cheater. The player will then hear a loud noise, fall to the ground, and immediately die. It's a fun little Easter egg that no one will ever see unless they tried cheating. This is just a good example showing that Remedy cares for all of their players, including the ones that try to cheat through the game.
The Witcher 3 is a single-player game, but that didn't stop the developers from adding an exploit defense system into it. Yes, players should be allowed to do whatever they want in a single-player game, but not if it takes away from what the developers created for you. If you exploit single-player games, then it doesn't incentivize you to explore new areas and collect new items. In The Witcher 3, players were taking advantage of a certain location in the game because of some cows that would infinitely respawn when you meditated. You were able to kill the cows and collect their hides and then respawn them. You were then able to take all the hide that you collected and sell it for a ton of money. The developers were seeing a lot of people doing this and implemented a defense system. If you keep killing the cows in this area, a chort will spawn and attack you. A chort is a very difficult enemy and has a ton of health. This specific enemy won't give you any XP if you kill it, but it will drop its normal loot drops, but isn't worth the trouble. Go and explore if you want to get more money.
Alright, well that's going to wrap it up for this video. We hope you enjoyed, and if there were any other cases where the developers implemented interesting ways of punishing cheaters, be sure to let us know about them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.